Hello and welcome to the Hop Heads. I'm Dom, I'm your host, and I'm coming to you with another review. This might actually be the first review up on YouTube, which I'm pretty excited to get a full video out on that platform. But if you're looking for another, go over to the Instagram. That was where I did the first two live reviews, and I've got a couple proclamation beers put up there. I'm doing another New England beer review this evening. It is from New Hampshire, Newington, New Hampshire, and it is from the brewery Stoneface Brewing. So let's see how they do. The name of the beer is Imaginary Cartwheels. I love the can. Very cool. It even has the hops that were used here: Citra, Laurel, and Comet. We'll get to those. And the ABV is 7.4%. As you can see, it's a 16-ounce can. So that makes me bring out the big boy, the Treehouse glass, and let's get right into the review. When we do reviews here, we go appearance, aroma, mouthfeel, flavor, and aftertaste. Those are the big five. They're broken into subcategories as we would understand, but those are the big five categories that we review these beers with. So we know that this is a hazy IPA. It's a New England IPA. I don't think it's a double. I think it's just a straight up IPA. Yeah, it's not a double. It's just a good old fashioned 7.4 IPA. So let's get into the review, and right off the rip, let's talk about this color. My goodness, it is gorgeous. When I poured it, the head was a little bit more substantial, and it did take a while for it to dissipate. It wasn't like it just raced down the glass, so that was a good sign. When you see a golden glowing yellow like that, you know you're dealing with a fresh beer. And when you see something that is very opaque, very hazy like this, very foggy and dense with color, you know you're dealing with a New England or hazy IPA. Something that's very new to the beer scene with these hazy IPAs is the fact that the beer wouldn't be clear. Back in the day, you wouldn't want a hot, foggy beer. Now it's actually a good thing depending upon the style you're drinking. This is that style. Let's go in for smell. Wow. Not gonna lie, I poured the can earlier. I got a whiff of the smell, but I didn't go in like that, so I was already excited. This proved me right. This is amazing. It smells like a bouquet. It smells like almost flowers, but like a bouquet of fruit and flowers. So I'm getting citrusy, pineapple-y, mango notes, but I'm also getting like a white wine, grapey-ness to it, almost like the Nelsons would bring those hops, but not at all. It's got Citra, which we know is going to bring the citrusy, the fruity, the very bright orangey flavor, or peach, or not peach necessarily, but tangerine, nectarine, those kinds of flavors. Then we have Laurel, which I believe is similar to Nelson, where it brings about a lot of the white winey flavors, and Comet is a great complementary hop, which I'm pretty sure they haven't tasted it yet, but I'm sure they probably used it for the bittering effect, because you wouldn't want to overpower the Citra, and you'd want to set a nice base note for that. So really good on the smell, picking up a lot of the hoppiness, a lot of the juiciness. I'm gonna pop my hood up because it is cold, and I gotta say, I couldn't wait to do this. I couldn't wait to come out on the porch and have a beer with you guys. So cheers. Here we go. First sip. Wow. Wow. Another time, Untapped doesn't do you wrong. The brewery itself is rated at a respectable, I believe, 3.93. That's incredibly respectable given today's climate, with people drinking beers that they know nothing about. They taste a beer, they don't know what the style is, and they rate it low. When we see a microbrewery like this that might be pushing a lot of more experimental type components into their beer, then that could happen very often, and it would lower the rating. But I can tell you, this doesn't taste like it was made by a brewery that's in the 3s. This tastes like a brewery that is in the 4s in Untapped ratings, or above 8 in our out of 10 ratings. So this is gonna be good. let's get into the review. Yeah, everything you smell comes across, and I love that. It's kind of a turn off, I guess you'd say, when you're drinking a beer and you smell it. It smells one way, and then you taste it, and it tastes a completely different way, or it tastes a lot lesser than the smell. This is not that case. This is where whatever you smell, you're gonna get hints of that in the taste. And this is why when I do tell people, you know, they ask me, why do you always smell the beer right before you sip it? You're activating a lot more of your olfactory sense of smell. You're going to be able to taste the beer better if you can be smelling it at the same time. Obviously, you're not going to be inhaling while you drink, but right before you take that sip, the flavor profiles, the flavor compounds will really become more explosive when the beer touches your tongue. One more, then we'll go into the breakdown. Okay, all that I've been raving about this beer, we have to start with mouthfeel. And the mouthfeel on that is a little, not flat, not uncarbonated, but it is holding back, I'll say that. There's so much flavor that you would want to be expressed in a nice full mouthfeel in this, that I feel like it's just a touch behind the 8-ball. It is not exactly where you'd want it to be. It could be a little bit more expansive, a little bit more expressive, but as far as the mouthfeel is concerned, I would still have to put it in the low 8s. It is, it coats everything, it carries its flavor throughout, but it doesn't really pop like the smell, like the aroma does so much. Let's go in for taste. I got tons of Citra. Tons of Citra. If you stick with the channel, you will learn I love my Citra. I love Mosaic, Amarillo, I love Peacherine and Nectarons. I love the hops that can bring about these juicy characteristics, and this does not disappoint. You get a lot of that juice up front. You get a little bit of the white winey grapeiness as it finishes, and it finishes quite dry, which is very, very nice, because you don't want a juice to stick around as much. You don't want it to feel like there was something sweet. The malt profile to this does leave some sweetness. It does carry a sweet, light white bread note, almost cracker note into the hops. So it's a very good complementary malt bill. Cheers to the people over at Stoneface Brewing, because that's not something easy to do. And if you watch the video on the Sitka IPA at a Proclamation up on the Instagram, you'll hear me talk a lot more about malts and their complexity and how they affect the final outcome of beer. Let's go in for aftertaste. Just an excuse to take another sip. You knew I already had the aftertaste sitting in my mouth because I've already taken multiple sips. Okay, it's delicious. The white grape note, the white wine note, that finishes, but with a drop of citrus, where you almost feel like you were drinking some kind of, take this for the best way possible, almost a Sprite, almost a lemon soda or something like that, where there's lemon, there's citrus, there's pineapple, there's grapefruit, but it's carried with this white wine flavor. So really, really good aftertaste, I gotta say, guys. It's been tough for me to just sit here and not be drinking it because it is so good. So no, don't drink a 7.4% beer like that. I was kidding, obviously, but the aftertaste is delicious. I would have to put that same thing in the low 8s. This beer, for a New England IPA, for an IPA, not a double, it's astounding. It really is something special. Well done, guys at Stoneface. Well done, New Hampshire Burlington, Vermont. We've been to, and I have a bunch of breweries that I could review from there. Haven't been to New Hampshire. So, I mean, I've been to New Hampshire, but in our travels we've been, but we never went to any breweries there. We kind of drove straight through to Vermont. Now I have a reason to stop. Okay, now I have a reason to stop. This was spectacular. This is spectacular. This is why I always say, use Untapped, use it a lot, but understand there's a lot of people drinking beer on that app that don't know anything about beer. There's a lot of people rating a brewery that may have never even been to a brewery before. So take all of that with a big giant grain of salt, but take it with a grain of salt still, because the app itself, Untapped, doesn't really steer you wrong. This was a 4.1, I believe, so on our scale it would be an 8.2 math, and I will have to, I'm gonna bump it up just a little bit for our scale. I'm gonna say that for an IPA this is an 8.3. So fresh, so vibrant, layers of flavor. It's what we're looking for. I almost want to say 8.4, but the reason I'm not going to is because I'm going to compare this beer now to all the other beers I've drank, and I'm going to say that I would still keep it at 8.3. Overall, this is an 8.3. I could see myself enjoying a few of them. I could see them being something that you'd pick up for a cookout or something. It's a great thing to find a beer like this that's not in the 8s or in the 9% ABV. It's not a double. It's drinkable, it's smooth, and it has a lot of different flavors that it expresses. So maybe you like hearing about the white wine's taste. This is for you. If you're more of a Citra person like me, this is for you. And if you're looking for that entry-level IPA where you don't know too much about them, but just the idea of trying hops and venturing into the hop world is there for you, this is for you. Great job over at Stoneface Brewing. Very well done, guys. Thank you so much for putting out such high quality beer with such high quality ingredients, and I hope you all can look into your area for fresh and like-minded brewers so that you can enjoy a similar style beer. In the comments, please be sure to leave any beer that you'd like me to review, national, local, if you want to ship it to me, but also let me know if there's any kind of style you'd like explained, or the history of beer, or any kind of thing on home brewing. There's so many channels out there on this, but I would like to bring it to you from my newer home brewing experience, but with tons of actual brewery experience, traveling the country and tasting all around. So I'm looking forward to bringing you guys a wide array of different styles and flavors so that you can dial into your personal preferences, and you can also know what beers that you might have to be looking out for and wanted to try just because it's something new and exciting and different. That's the way this path should always be. No matter what your interest or your passion or your intrigue in life might be, continue to find the next step up, sharpen your palate towards it, right? Sharpen your eyes and your, that intrigue where you're not just staying with the same old, but you're looking to new and exciting ventures, no matter what you're doing in life. All love, all the time, all gratitude. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you being here. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're not already. Please share the videos and tell your friends to subscribe, because once I get to 50 subscribers on YouTube, I will be able to go live with these videos and make it much more interactive, much more personal, and we can have a beer together. So please remember to subscribe, and I hope you're all well and have a blessed time wherever you are. Obviously it's night where I am. You might even hear the crickets, but no matter where you're watching this, when you're watching this, you are loved, and don't forget, be hoppy. Cheers.